It was not cool to be African. It really wasn't. If you were African, the names that they would call you, Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Aisha May. If you know me, hello. If you don't, welcome to my channel. I do a lot of videos on the Gambia, me moving here, being in my 30s, and yeah, just what it's like living here and showing you the best parts of it, I suppose. Anyway, so this video today, you must have seen, is about what it was like growing up part Jamaican and part Gambian. I thought it'd be quite interesting because I did have a couple of people ask me about it beforehand. And to be really frank with you, before moving here, there wasn't anything I could really tell you because, yeah. Anyway, that's gonna be part of the reasoning. So yeah, let me start from the beginning. So, I was born in London to my dad, who is Gambian. He was born in Gambia. And my mum, who's Jamaican from a second generation. So her, or second generation, yeah. Her parents were actually born in Jamaica, born and bred in Jamaica, and moved over to the UK and had her after having my aunt and uncle. They were born in Jamaica. So yeah, so for me, growing up culturally diverse, I suppose, it wasn't something I was very aware of, to be very honest. Like, growing up, I just very much associated with my Jamaican side. I didn't know anything much to do with my Gambian side. Don't get me wrong, I did know my dad's cousins, they had children, and I used to see them, not frequently, but I used to see them every now and again. They lived in North London, we lived in South London, and I used to stay there quite a lot, but I still didn't really, I don't think I really appreciated the fact that they were Gambian or that side of my family, you know. I didn't really think of those things. I think for me, the only differences were the food. The food was different because majority of the food I used to have at home was, yeah, I suppose it was a fusion between kind of like Jamaican and kind of British foods. And also, no, I think everyone in my family would call me English because, well, my dad used to anyway, because as much as maybe that was kind of food types we had at home, I didn't like a lot of Jamaican food or Gambian food. And my parents have always blamed this on the fact that I had a white childminder. I loved her to pieces. Her name was Sue. Yeah, she was so nice. I loved her and her family. And for me, it was nothing. I just ate what I liked, you know. I was quite picky when it came to food. I didn't like, I don't know, I can't say for sure, like, I can't really remember exactly the type of things I didn't like when I was like, you know, under 10 years of age. But I knew that I was quite picky, and I liked what I liked and I didn't like what I didn't like, basically, like most children. But anyway, so going to my cousin's house, so I remember they always used to have what they used to call it anyway, nut stew, and I didn't really like it. I thought it was okay. Like, I know what it is now, domoda. At the time, I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know it was a Gambian dish. I just ate what I was given. And if I liked it, I liked it. If I didn't, I didn't. All I remember is that a lot of the time, most foods would have pepper in it, and I didn't like pepper. And my dad used to always trick me and make me think that the food didn't have much pepper just so that I would eat it. But no, that was just met with me moaning and complaining about how hot the food was. But that was the only kind of introduction to Gambia, really, I feel. And his other cousins, they also had some children I used to see every now and again. Again, it wasn't like frequent, it was just every now and again. And for me, they were just quite British, so I didn't really appreciate it. The only other thing I do remember is, I remember my dad's cousin, who's my second cousin, they had a son. And I remember going to their house for the naming ceremony. And at the time, I just thought it was really weird, to be honest, because they lived in a flat, right? And it was freezing, like, so it must have been obviously winter time around, I don't know, November, October, or maybe even January, because it was really cold, I remember. And I remember they had the baby and they kept walking in and out of the front door with the baby, and the baby was a newborn. And I remember thinking, like, why do they keep doing that? The baby is a newborn, like the baby needs to stay inside. That's not good for the baby. And that's all I remember thinking. I didn't really know much else. I also remember just thinking that I just used to find it really boring because I didn't really understand the language. I didn't know what was going on, you know. So for me, I used to kind of avoid those kind of gatherings or anything. So moving forward, this is just talking about my Gambian bit, I'll get to my Jamaican bit in a minute. But moving forward, anyway, I remember as I got older, the less and less I would go to any of these functions because I just used to find it really boring. So my parents would go and even my brother would go, but me, I wouldn't go. I would just stay at home. And to the point where this is actually really embarrassing, but my cousin, his brother, his younger brother, who I've met, but he doesn't remember because I'm older, said to him, I didn't know you had a sister. And when I think about that, I think that's really bad for me, obviously, because I just didn't make myself present enough for him to even know who I am, which is bad. So like looking back on it now, I kind of wish I did make more of an effort or asked a few questions or something just to understand a bit more, you know. But since being here, now I understand more. Now I get the culture so much more. So now I can do this video for you guys, you know. Yeah, so going back to my childhood again now, being quote unquote Jamaican. So I remember one of the things is that I really did associate with my Jamaican side so much more than my Gambian side, and I think it was because my mum's parents were around. Unfortunately, I never got to meet my dad's parents. They passed away before he even met my mum when he was a boy, which I always wish, even to this day, that I wish I met them. I wish I knew them, you know, like I really do. I've seen pictures of them and I know very minute details about them, but I do wish to this day that I knew who they were. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. But anyway, yeah, so basically growing up, I just saw myself as being Jamaican. Like we used to go to my grandparents' house really often. I used to see my cousins quite a lot, and I was quite close to one of my cousins more than others, just because he and I used to go to my grandparents' house quite frequently and we used to stay there quite a lot. So we were in each other's company quite a lot. Also, this is basically, if you do know, I have my auntie, she's on YouTube as well, Militant Angel. It was her and her son. They used to come to our house quite a lot. And yeah, especially for like special occasions, they used to be there. So I used to see them quite a lot. So I grew up quite close to my cousin, who's her son. Yeah, so, and then being in school now, at primary school, I remember when I was younger, it was not cool to be African. It really wasn't. If you were African, the names that they would call you, African Bubba, all kind of stupid things, like really stupid things, but yeah, it wasn't cool to be African at all. So I remember it wasn't cool to be African, and it was cool to be Christian. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, this is just my memory anyway. Put any comments down below of what it was like for you when you were at school. It would be quite interesting to know. But anyway, yeah, so I just remember like being Jamaican was so cool, you know, and being African wasn't. And I still don't know if I really understood that I was African as well. So I remember being asked, you know, if you're African or Jamaican, and I would just say I'm Jamaican. And yeah, it was just like, I don't remember being ashamed. I just don't remember really understanding or really having, I don't know, it's not the knowledge, but I think I was just kind of ignorant to not really realizing that I was also African. I'm sure I know I was told, but I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I just remember saying I was Jamaican and Christian because that was one of the questions people used to ask you all the time when I was at school. Mind you, I'm talking about primary school, and I was at primary school from the late 80s to early 90s. So yeah, so that was that. Then moving on to like say secondary school, again, at the time, I don't think people weren't really having discussions, from what I can remember anyway, of where you're from, you know? So I don't really remember that being an influence on my life at the time. But I think, again, I probably was very close to my Jamaican side. But again, like I said to you, when it came to the food, didn't like it. But I knew the music because my mum used to play it all the time. So I was very well versed with a lot of reggae songs and certain dancehall songs, even certain dancehall dances and things like that, you know. But when it came to my Gambian side, and I didn't know anyone that was Gambian besides the cousins that I knew of. I didn't have any friends that were Gambian. All my friends were either, let me think, secondary school. I had a mixture of friends. So my closest friend at the time, she was Jamaican. And I had some other friends of mine who were European. So I had some friends. Yeah, so there was a lot of girls. Yeah, a lot of girls were from Jamaica or the Caribbean. Then I had a friend that was from Bosnia. I had some Indian friends. I had some, British or English friends as well. So my friendship circle was quite diverse. But in saying that, I used to just hang around solely with my Jamaican friend again. So again, that influence coming from her, because I used to go to her house a lot. Again, reggae, you know, Jamaican food. That was the influence from there as well, because I used to be at the house quite a lot. So when we would have breakfast, we would always have something, and it would have dumpling in it or something, you know. I wasn't really I didn't grow up on Gambian food, really and truly. Sometimes I would have super, but at the time we used to call it okra soup. Yeah. So then moving on to college now. College, let me think. Now I remember there being more emphasis on, no, not even college. It was when I got to university, and nobody believed that I was directly from Africa. Everyone just thought I was Jamaican, and I've had that throughout my whole life. Whenever anybody asked me where I'm from, and I would tell them, they'll be really shocked that my dad is directly from Africa, you know, so therefore, obviously, I am too. Not saying that we aren't all African, please don't misquote me, but I'm just talking about my direct influences, right? So I remember one time my friend saying to me, I would never think you were African because you don't joke, like in the accent, you don't say anything about it, there's no influences that I would kind of bring that was part of my personality, more or less. And they were right, because I just didn't have that affiliation with it. I didn't. And I remember him saying that, and I was like thinking about it, and I was like, you're right, it's true, I don't do any of those things, you know. If I was joking, it would be in a patois accent, you know, I would be chatting patois. I would never put on no African accent because I wouldn't even know where to start at the time. So yeah, growing up with the two cultures, I would say I was more heavily influenced over my Jamaican culture. And then now being here, I can really understand things that I kind of didn't get to experience. And now I feel so much more African. I do, like, as much as I know that I will never be seen 100% Gambian, because at the end of the day, I wasn't born here, I wasn't raised here. There's so many differences, and I accept that. And for me, that's fine, I don't mind that. And that's not in saying that people make me feel ostracized or anything. No, they don't. The only thing that they do is laugh if I try and speak an Olaf. But watch this space when I can speak better Olaf than you lot. Anyway. But yeah, so like, being here, I understand the culture so much more. I understand the people so much more. And now I can kind of compare the two, if anything. And yes, there's vast differences. Jamaican people, right, are rude. Obviously not everybody, but they're rude. I remember going to Jamaica, right, when I went for the first time, I think I was 18 or 19, right? And I remember going into KFC, and I remember I couldn't get over how rude this woman was to the man. So some man must have been buying some food there. And I think he must have asked her for some more chicken or something. The way she cussed him out the shop. And that's normal. That is so normal. In the UK, you would never get away with that. Even in certain Jamaican, like Caribbean shops, they might be a bit more kind of offish, but never as rude as, say, what I saw that woman being as rude as she was in Jamaica. Yeah, Jamaicans will tell you about your backside. If you're ugly, they'll tell you you're ugly. If you got a big nose, they'll tell you you got a big nose. If you walk funny, they'll tell you walk funny. They don't feel no way to tell you anything about you on your person. In Gambia, never ever. They might think it, possibly, I don't know, but they would never be that outrightly rude to your face. Also, like, Jamaicans will just tell you about your backside, like I said. If they think, say, you're rude or you're out of order, they'll tell you how to harder. You know what I mean? They won't, and the children will also tell you same way. They won't bite their tongue, basically. They're not sensitive to those kind of things. Here, like I've mentioned before, Gambians are a lot more sensitive to certain things. There was a video I did with my dad a while back about building, and he must have said something, and he was joking, and between my dad and I, we're quite friendly. And I said, stop it, you liar, or something like that. When I tell you the amount of comments that I got from Gambians, oh, you shouldn't say that, that's really rude, you know, that we don't say that to people. I was shocked, because I was like, you know, responding like, I'm just joking, it's not nothing, it's just in jest. No, it doesn't matter, despite that you don't say that. So when I found that, I was like, wow, you lot are sensitive, like. And I just didn't grow up like that. I really didn't. And I'm going to live in my truth. So I'm very sorry if you feel, I don't mean to be disrespectful to nobody. And I will really never be outrightly disrespectful to anybody. So like, I would never say that to anybody here, knowing that. But amongst me and my people, I'm going to speak how I feel comfortable, because that's my friends and my people and my family. So if you feel disrespected by that, then I'm going to apologize from now on, because that's what you're going to see. But it just made me realize how sensitive like Gambians are in comparison to Jamaicans. And a lot of Gambians, they love Jamaican culture, like love it. But when you think about it, it's African culture anyway, but whatever, just for this, I'll just continue. They love African culture, right? Jamaican culture. But no disrespect, enough Jamaicans probably wouldn't even love most Africans. Like Jamaicans, and you know, listen, Jamaicans aren't sensitive, so I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. Jamaicans are very ignorant to saying that they are from Africa. Not everybody, but the people that say Gambians that you guys will hear on songs and whatever, not everybody is like that. Not everybody is like, oh, we're all African, we're all one, and no. Jamaicans are not like that at all. They really aren't. And I love my Jamaicans as much as I love my Gambians, but I'm gonna talk the talk, you know what I mean? So they're not. They are quite ignorant to the fact that they are African. They have a big affiliation, big proudness of being Jamaican. But if you said to most Jamaicans that you're African, they will cuss you. They would cuss you. I'm not African, la la, how dare you tell me say I is African, blah 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 blah. Like, yeah, they wouldn't be feeling it at all. And a lot of Gambians are quite shocked by that. And that's another thing where a lot of people are quite shocked by the mix that I have, because they're like, Jamaican and African, how did that happen? Well, Jamaican and Gambian anyway, but it's kind of not as unusual now so much, I don't believe. But yeah, so like they're just vast differences. Like Jamaican and Gambians are totally different. The food is totally different. There's some aspects of the food that are kind of similar, like fried fish, but I wouldn't say that's necessarily a staple Gambian. I mean, fish, yeah, you have fish a lot, but the way like Jamaicans will eat a lot of vegetables, like hard food, they call it, like yam, banana, what do you call it, like callaloo, ackee. They have a lot of what do you call it, peppers, like when it comes to fish and things of that thing. And rice is not really a major staple. I mean, it is rice and peas, but it's not with every single meal that you eat. Here in Gambia, every meal that you have is rice based. Rice and this, rice and that, rice and this, rice till it's pouring our ears. And that's something that I never understood as well. That's something else, because the way in which my dad used to eat in the UK, like me and my mum specifically would always kind of tease my dad on the things that he used to eat quite frequently. He used to eat a lot of bread. He used to love having loads of onions in his food. Always wanted rice with everything, and would always begrudge us if we wanted something else like pasta or potato or something like that, you know. But coming here, it's made me realize why, because everyone has bread all the time. Like, you can get bread from the local shops, but everyone has bread all the time. And there's onions in the majority of foods, like especially yasas, obviously, chicken, fish, whatever yasa. And rice, obviously, is the main staple, what you call it, carbohydrate in food. So it really got me to understand, and being here, it has opened my eyes and made me realize parts of myself, you know. And it's a beautiful thing, and I'm really grateful for it, and I love being the mix that I am. The one thing, like a lot of Gambians here, they love that I'm Jamaican and Gambian, but I do try and verse them on how Jamaicans stay, because they don't believe that they are rank, and they are. They're rank, like seriously though. Like, why are you not so feisty though? Why? Not everybody, but you know. Yeah, so yeah, growing up Jamaican and Gambian, I don't know what I could really say in terms of like one specific word. It was X, like, I don't know. It was an experience I will never forget, obviously, because it's my life. But it wasn't something I kind of felt like I grew up Jamaican, to be very honest. I don't really feel like I grew up African or Gambian, especially because the majority of the foods I've had since I've been here, understanding certain cultural languages, I know that since being here. And just knowing how other people are, I know that since being here as well. Whereas I knew a lot about Jamaicans from being in London, and especially I think I was surrounded by more Jamaicans growing up, obviously, as I've mentioned. So yeah, I can't think of anything else to really say, like, but growing up Jamaican and Gambian was very interesting, and I'm grateful for it. I love it. Yeah, I'm really proud of it. And that's it. I don't really know what else to say. Do you have any questions for me? If you do, put it in the description box, not description box, the comment box below. Also, if you want to contact me, that's all in the description box below. I've got my Instagram, my Facebook, and if you want to be so nice as to help a girl out, I have my PayPal down there as well. Oh, I should mention, it's my birthday on Monday, so go on, just be nice, give me a present. Well, I'm only joking. Yes, no, but it is my birthday on Monday, the 12th of July. I can't believe it, I'm gonna be 37. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much. If you did make it this far, I'm going to do this and see if you guys would do it. Please, obviously, don't forget to put a thumbs up, because that will help to spread the video to other people who might be interested. Also, I was going to say, put a star emoji in the comments below if you made it this far. You are the dons if you did. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you all just for sticking with me, watching my content. I'm going to try and be a bit more, what do you call it, consistent, because I've really been dropping the ball. I've just been a bit busy, especially with the interior design, doing the lounge, and I'm doing another project, and I still have my assignment to do, and I've been doing quite a few little bits, so I've been a bit busy, so I do apologize for that, but I just love the fact that you guys are still there with me. You're not hopping off and forgetting about me. Anyway, I'm gonna stop. I keep chatting too much. Anyway, love you all, take care, have a great day, evening, whatever the time is where you are. And take care. See you in my next video. Bye.